Hey everybody, welcome to the Midnight FrightCast. I was waiting for Greg to be like, screw up your countdown. Welcome to episode 13.
Episode 13.
Yeah. I'm Josh. Sitting alongside me to my right, as always, is the Greg.
I'm not
the movie guy.
Dick.
The movie guy.
I want to do this just as much as you.
The movie guy, Greg.
Hey, it's Greg the movie guy here.
And to my left, as always, is Patrick.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
And we are missing our fourth. Across the table.
Our fourth wheel.
Tom.
Yep, Tom is out tech rehearsing today, so he's not able to join us.
Yeah, so we were talking about before we started doing this that it's been since May since we've tackled one of these. And if we remember what happened the last time we went a long time without tackling one of these, we couldn't talk. We were flubbing a lot of...
yeah, that was you and me, wasn't it?
It was really rough.
I couldn't even read, let alone talk.
So this should go well.
This is going to go a lot better because I am here.
Yeah, we have got a third...
We are not stuck in Lunderland.
We've got someone else to
we got a third to chime in.
We got someone else to blame our shit on.
So yeah, it's been a while. I'm sure we all have a ridiculous amount of film watching under our belt. Do you want to talk about the bad news, or do you want to wait for another day?
No, I think we can address it, and then at the next podcast, I think we just dedicate our segment to it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
George Romero passing away at age 77 from lung cancer.
That's already started. The lung cancer. The lung cancer.
Yeah, I can't.
It's already started.
I'm gonna give up.
Yeah, it's a really kind of a bummer day. Obviously. Big in the horror genre, but I think it's a good idea to wait and
really give it a due diligence.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, we got that off the list now, and too bad, so sad, he died. All right. So tonight we are going to talk about XX here in a little bit, but do we want to go around the table right quickly and do what we've been watching?
Yeah, and we had mentioned maybe changing this up just a little bit. That we each say a movie and then kind of go round robin.
Yeah, round robin.
And that we were not just shooting off a list here.
Yeah, Greg.
So nobody happens to dominate like an entire segment.
I have no idea who does that.
We're gonna try to keep it to. I was gonna say keep it to 5, but I see Greg writing a list, and I can already tell we're pretty well screwed.
No, so, this shouldn't be too bad. I was not prepared as usual, so I'm going through and frantically backpedaling.
Greg, do you want to start then?
No, I really don't.
I'll go ahead and start because
I
actually have 10 things on my list. For the first time in many weeks, I've been able to sit down and actually watch some movies. And some of them I'm not even going to talk about that much. I'm just going to say that I saw it and then pass the torch, so we're not occupying a lot of time here.
For sure.
The first one I saw was The Good Neighbor. This was on Netflix, and what pulled me into this movie was the fact that it was James Caan. I love James Caan as an actor, and he's obviously much older now.
Yeah.
But essentially a story about the next door neighbor's kids were doing this quote unquote scientific experiment where they got into his house, rigged it up to make it look like his house was haunted, and then filmed him this entire time. So it was an interesting movie. I ended up really liking it.
Somebody mentioned that movie to me the other day and then said, or I mentioned that movie to somebody the other day because you had mentioned it, and they're like, oh, you should watch that and 13 Cameras. So I might watch those two.
I've come across 13 Cameras. I haven't watched it yet, but it looks
he said it was really
intriguing.
Good. So 13 Cameras and The Good Neighbor might be a nice little double feature in the future. I'm going to start with one really old school one. That I've seen a million times, but Greg and I have been talking about doing this 80s watch thing.
Oh, yes.
That I'm kind of psyching up for. So I watched Gremlins for the first time in a really long time, and again, not going to talk a lot about it, but like I love that movie. It is so good.
Was this a rediscovery for you, or?
Like I've seen it a million times,
okay.
So there's nothing in there that I really forgot happened. And you don't forget how good the movie is. It was just like, I want to put in something that, You know, that movie is like almost kind of a feel good movie, although it's really a screwed up movie. It's kind of a feel good movie. Like, it just reminds you of like childhood. So Gremlins was a nice little go to. And the other thing is do you watch that movie during Halloween or do you watch that movie during Christmas? It's just one of those movies that can sit on the fence.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
Gremlins, fantastic. If you haven't seen it, dig yourself out of that hole and go watch it.
There's no doubt.
The Rock is not that heavy.
Yeah.
Move it and watch it. Oh, I guess I'm up?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, this is a new format for me. I'm not quite sure. So, because I had brought up that rediscovery, I recently rediscovered a movie that I had seen several times. I own it. There's so many movies out there you just kind of forget that some of these exist. I watched The Matrix, and I forgot how beautiful of a movie it is. The story is amazing. It's fresh. It's a fresh story. It still holds up for today. You know, it came out back in 1999, so we're pushing 20 years old on that. But the relevance of it when it came out is just as relevant because we're basically heading into a lot of the technological advances that they are kind of getting into right now, not necessarily learning kung fu with the type of a computer button, but you know, all the tech stuff that's in there and how all that kind of transpires. It's a really, really good movie. Silence.
All right, so you're passing the torch then.
Passing the torch.
Okay, I saw another movie called on Netflix called "I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House."
Yes, it's on my list.
Okay, I would probably say do not waste your time. But that's just me personally. It's a real slow burner that to me never catches fire. It's
sad.
yeah. Because the trailer for it looks awesome. But for me personally, I could not get into it. It just, like I said, slow burned all the way through to the end, and it just smoldered for me.
That sucks.
It's on your list. I'm saying maybe dig into the first 10 minutes of it and see if it catches your attention or not.
Yeah.
But it just did nothing for me, and I pushed all the way through to the end.
Well, speaking of movies that did nothing for me, and that was 2.5 hours of popcorn scenes. Greg, you know what I'm talking about. I watched Gore Verbinski's A Cure for Wellness. I was really, really excited for this movie. Heard a lot of interesting things, kind of good, kind of bad about it. It's a 2.5 hour movie where they could have easily cut out probably 45 minutes. And that 45 minutes was basically what we would call a popcorn scene, which was just the same shit over and over again to fill time.
Yep.
Or they just forgot they shot that scene and went back and did it again. I'm not quite sure which one it was, but there's a lot of stuff where the main character kept going back to another character, would talk to her, would leave, and then 2 minutes later go back to that character and basically have the same conversation. So I wanted to love this movie so much. It reminded me a lot of Shutter Island.
Okay.
Which you were a fan of that. You did not like Shutter Island, and you will hate A Cure for Wellness. It reminded me a lot of that same kind of concept.
Okay.
It was a long journey to get to the end of a movie that didn't have really the.
It was a long walk for a short drink of water.
Yeah. So that's my second one.
So I have kind of a question off of that, and I'll try to make it quick because I know we want to get rolling here. But do you notice that a lot of movies are kind of hitting minimums of you have to hit almost like a 2-hour minimum on them? Do you think that a lot of the scenes that would have normally been cut out to make a movie stronger are being submitted in just to try and hit that 2-hour minimum so that audience members can feel like they're getting their money's worth out of their $10, $15, $20 movie tickets?
I don't still think you do that with a horror film, though. Horror films are a standard like 80, 90 minutes.
Right.
Get the little setup in the first 10 minutes and then start driving that shit 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
There are certain exceptions. Horror would be one of them. I'd also include
Comedies.
in that too.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that there's a lot of those scenes that should have normally been cut out, or the popcorn scenes or their fluff scenes or whatever, that really just they could have done without. But I feel like they're doing that more just so that they hit that 2-hour minimum.
But you can get away with that in a Marvel movie. War for the Planet of the Apes, I think, is 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes.
It was about 2:15.
It's a
right
sit.
there. Yeah.
But it's, from what I understand, I mean, that's straight action for the most part, right, Patrick? Or no? You're not going to say anything
I'm not going to say because you haven't seen it.
Yeah. But if you watch
You
the
told me
other
not
Planet
to.
of the Apes movies, I mean, that's like the first one's kind of a setup, but the second one's like straight just they go for it. So I can see 2.5 hours of that kind of movie because it's straight action and you don't really notice that runtime.
Sure. Okay. So just something I'd been kind of pondering about while you were talking about that.
Yeah, I
so.
get exactly what you're saying though.
Another one on my list, I kind of go through because I recently changed positions at my work. If you've talked or if you've listened to us before and you heard me talk about movies that I've watched in an undisclosed area, I used to watch movies at work. I can say it now because fuck my old job. And I don't care. I would go through and I would watch movies on Netflix that I'd already seen so that I could try and be somewhat productive, but have something on in the background that I could look back and forth between. So I have a long list, but I'm not going to go through them all. I rewatched the movie Yoga Hosers.
Ooh, good call.
I was looking for something fun and I saw that pop up as a new download. I was like, yep, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I love everything about
It's
this movie.
fun.
It's campy. It's hilarious. I thought the Harley Quinn, Smith, and I can't think of her name.
Lily
Depp.
Rose.
Lily Rose Depp were phenomenal as the Colleens.
They have Bratzies in it.
Ridiculous. I mean, the movie is ridiculous, but it's done well. I wasn't a huge fan of Tusk because I felt like it was more serious and over the top. Josh is giving me the evil eye right now.
I love Tusk.
I know you do.
Yeah.
That's why I'm. Yeah. I thought that what Kevin Smith did with Yoga Hosers was just hysterical. It was a great movie.
Moose Jaws is on hold now because Kevin Smith is seeing other people's dreams come true. He's hoping on a student film right now.
Oh wow.
Really?
Or like a
Interesting.
super small indie film, like going back to his like roots, where he's like not the director on it, and he's not even the writer on it. He's just there. Like I think he might be a producer on it, or he's there monetarily, but he's hoping it's in Florida. They're shooting it in Florida.
Yeah.
And it's somebody else's film. So,
That's awesome. Good for him. He's just an inspiration.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Smith.
So,
Wonder Woman. Go see it.
good call.
Yep. I second that. Wonder Woman. Write it down.
I watched a movie called The Axe Murders of Villisca.
I wondered if you would see that.
On Netflix. I went to the Villisca Axe Murder House in Iowa a few years back and stayed overnight there. So I was really curious just to see what they do with the movie. And it's not so much what happened in the house. It's a group of kids go to the house to explore and see what happened, to stay overnight. And they end up getting kicked out of the house and they break back in and all the other crazy shit happens. It's not good. It's not good at all.
That's the best setup
but
ever.
I think I don't know.
but it was watchable. It was a first time watch,
Sure.
and a last time watch.
A one time.
I will go back to that movie.
Sure.
But I'm glad I got it out of the system. I don't have to pass by it on Netflix ever again and go, I wonder what that's about. So yeah, it's done, and it's done.
Excellent. So kind of along the same lines of rewatching movies, I came across Big Daddy the other day, and I wanted to relive we'll call it the glory days of when Adam Sandler could actually make a good film. Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Still good. Still hilarious.
Yeah, that's one of his.
Heartfelt.
That's one of his I do enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2014 movie called The Unwanted. Okay, you guys just high-fived each other, and I'm curious as to why.
I think that was the original title for The Wanted.
Was it The Unwanted? No, it was always The Wanted.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was crack jokes about how when we were finished it was unwanted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and in this case, I did not. After seeing it, that maybe I should not have wanted to watch The Unwanted
On Netflix?
on Netflix.
Okay.
However, it did have one of the best kill scenes that I've seen in a while. If you're not familiar with this actor, William Catt, for people from my generation, they would know him from The Greatest American Hero. But like I said, that's my generation growing up. Anyway, the kill happened that this woman, well, first of all, she got, no, this is two different kills, but both of them were pretty cool. The first one is he sneaks up behind this woman and he's able to wrap plastic around her head, and he holds that with one hand so she's unable to breathe and she's scrambling at that while he hacks her head off with the other hand.
Nice.
Oh,
And it was pretty brutal. I mean, it came out of nowhere and just completely took me by surprise. So I don't know if it was the effect of the killing that affected me, but it did. And then the second killing is an arrow through the back of the head that comes out of the mouth.
Nice.
It was
Yeah,
pretty sweet. So two things I got out of that movie that were good were the two kills, the rest of it, not so much.
Garbage. Nice. The Void. The Void on Netflix. Weirdest movie I've ever seen. There's a movie called Baskin on Netflix. That's like the most grotesque movie I've ever. I didn't even finish that movie. The Void.
that's right.
I avoided it for for a long time because I was like, it reminded me a little bit reading about it. It reminded me a little bit of, I was like, this is gonna be like Baskin, and I'm not gonna be able to finish it. But I pulled the trigger on it, and I sat through it, and it's the weirdest fucking movie I've ever. I'm sorry for the language. It's the weirdest movie I've ever seen.
When have you ever apologized for language?
It's the
13
weirdest,
episodes in, Josh's first apology for
the
language.
weirdest fucking movie I've ever seen in my life. It's like, it starts out of the gate, action, and it ends on a really interesting note, and all the shit in the middle was just, it's like they wrote this really cool concept of what around these like cult people in like white sheets or whatever. They're not the kind of white sheets I know that you might be thinking of right now. This cult was standing outside this hospital, and it's like they wrote this whole concept around these really weird cult people, and then didn't know how to like put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I got on this group after I got done with watching that movie and was like, it's a horror group that I'm part of, and I was like, what is this movie about? I'm not saying I hate it, I just don't know what it was about.
Sure.
Somebody please explain this movie to me. Nobody could do it. Nobody. So it's a movie that people either really love or they just don't know
What's going on?
how to take it.
Sure.
So The Void, I wouldn't avoid it. Watch it, and then send me a Facebook message and tell me what that movie was about, because I don't know. So that's my.
Greg the movie guy says challenge accepted.
Please write a review. I dare you.
Be 2.5 pages of what the
Yep.
I went back and watched the movie Trolls.
It's on my list.
The animated?
The recent animated one
Yeah,
that
okay.
just came out. Have you seen it yet?
Recent animated one? No.
It came out like last year
Oh, no.
or earlier
Are you
this
talking
year.
about the little fuzzy head plastic
Yep.
things?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
kinda
never.
Trolls.
No, never mind. That's not what I was thinking.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking Troll Hunter.
Troll Hunter, yeah.
Oh, the Norwegian one? I have seen that.
Okay, that's on my list. Not
Watch
Trolls.
it.
Two
It's-
completely different movies.
I was
Very-
going to
yeah,
say, I was
exactly.
but that's what I was thinking of.
Troll Hunter is really good. It's really, really interesting how they did it. It's very much like what's the New York one where they tried to redo the Godzilla thing, but it was
Cloverfield.
It's a lot like Cloverfield, but I thought they did it a lot better.
Interesting. Okay.
So give it a watch.
All right.
No, this was the animated film with voiced by Anna Kendrick and Justin Timberlake. I didn't really care for it the first time. Second time around wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. The story is just, it's weird. It's weird for a kids movie because I don't. Have you seen it? You've got kids. You've got young kids. Sorry.
No, they've seen it. I have not seen it.
You have not. Okay.
No.
The premise of the story is these evil like ogre type characters live for the one day when they can eat a troll, and it's supposed to bring them happiness because these trolls are so happy that they party and sing and dance and hug all the time. It's it's weird. It is weird. It is weird. I'll give you that. But it seems grotesque that you're showing these pretty gruesome, villainless ogre-like characters and you're marketing it to younger kids.
Yeah.
Like, you're saying you're telling these younger kids these things eat these happy, fun, cutesy little characters.
Now, is that movie marketed towards young kids, or is it marketed towards the generation that grew up
with trolls?
With troll dolls?
That's an interesting thought. I had not thought about that. I think it would go both ways. I think with kids movies, especially animated movies anymore, they're trying to capture the kid audience as well as the parent audience that has to sit there with the kids.
Yeah.
Like I look back at Shrek and I think, okay, Shrek is a goofy character. Kids are going to like it. They're going to see the Snow Whites and the Robin Hoods and whoever else was in there. They're going to love the fairy tale. But there's adult humor in there.
Yeah.
Like a lot of adult humor that these kids are not going to pick up on. So I'm wondering if these studios are trying to get smarter about, hey, parents are in the audience too. We don't want to bore them to death by letting them watch another Doc McStuffins or whatever's on the freaking Disney Channel. Or
Doc
right.
McStuffins.
I don't know where I pulled that out of.
That sounds fantastic.
It's a doctor that takes care of stuffed animals.
Yeah, duh. We should
get your
move on.
mind out of the gutter, Josh. It's not that kind of a Doc McStuffins.
It's a documentary.
Anyway, continue, Greg.
I think we fucked.
Nope. We're good.
We're done. We're done with trolls. All right.
Yes, it's interesting. Maybe give it a one watch. The best thing that came out of that was the song that Justin Timberlake did.
The one that's on the radio all the time.
I got a feeling.
Yeah.
No, not that one. That wasn't Justin Timberlake.
Oh no! I know what you're saying. The dance.
Yeah.
Dance. Yeah.
I can't think of what it is, but you
Can't stop the feeling. Can't stop
Can't
the
stop
feeling.
the feeling. There you go.
Yes.
Josh for the win. Wondering about you.
I knew the feeling was in there.
Yeah.
All right.
I told you. I mean, it's on the radio like at
All
my
the
job
time.
all the time.
Oh yeah. That's your.
Yeah,
I have
that's
the
the
song.
song.
That's his excuse for it.
I have
He sits
the
at home while he watches horror movies. And
Listen,
He
Yeah.
dances to Justin
dances to
Timberlake.
Justin
I mute the
Timberlake.
horror film and just listen to that.
No, okay. He dances at home to Justin Timberlake with ramen noodles on his head.
All right then,
That's weird. Ramen noodles.
because it'd be like a troll then, I guess.
No, I was thinking Justin Timberlake when he was in
Oh yeah, true. You win.
in Sync.
Yeah.
And he had the really, really curly,
the really
blonde hair
curly
that
hair.
looked like
Okay.
ramen noodles.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, that joke just failed.
Wow.
It really did.
We had to dig really deep.
Yeah.
So that, yeah,
How do you got left, Greg?
I'm done.
You're done with your
There's
list?
nothing else worth mentioning. Kung Fu Panda, Boat Trip, Jackass, The Ranch Part 3, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and Santa Clarita Diet. Done.
How many you got left, Patrick?
I have a handful, but I can go through them pretty quick. How many do you have?
I have the one.
Okay, well, I'm going to do one here, and then you can do one, then I can rattle off the rest
Yeah.
of mine pretty quick. If you like Orange is the New Black, I believe you would love Wentworth. 5 seasons on Netflix. It's a New Zealand version of Orange is the New Black, but much more hard-hitting.
Okay.
Really great series.
Honorable mention. I watched Cabin Fever last night. It's a really great movie. That's an honorable mention. It's not even on my list.
The one with Ryder Strong?
It's Eli Ross, Cabin Fever.
Yeah, it had Ryder Strong.
Ryder Strong. Yeah. Ryder Strong's in it. Yes. I was like, I had to think of who that was.
Well, you said Cabin Fever, and I'm thinking, Cabin in the Woods?
No, Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever, yeah.
But my last one on my list is a movie that is like people either love it or I actually had an argument the other day with somebody going back and forth on this movie because I dug the movie and he thought it was the dumbest thing ever made. 47 Meters Down. If anybody has not seen that
I have
movie,
not seen it yet.
go see it.
I want
it's not like there's some stupid writing in the movie. I will give anybody that.
Yeah.
There's some, but I feel like it had to be in there to keep the movie going, or they just would have sat. These two girls go on a shark diving thing. Their cage breaks and they drop to the 47 meters down.
Yeah.
And they keep getting in and out of the shark cage to try to get help, and they're surrounded by sharks and whatever. The great thing about this movie is like it is shot really dark and the timing of everything is off. So you can't see, like the actors are constantly looking into the dark. So you don't know if a shark's coming out of there. And like, you know how music sets the tone in these horror films where you feel like, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. In that movie, it was a lot of, anticipation, and then nothing would happen, and you take your breath of, okay, and then it would punch you in the face. So the timing was off on that movie, which is like, I think a great thing that was brought to that movie. 47 Meters Down, it's definitely worth a watch if you go on a early Sunday morning for $5.
Is that still out?
I think 47 Meters Down is still playing. There's a lot of movies that open this weekend that probably could have kicked it out.
Might be at the Grand.
Yeah, definitely at the Grand. I would check for it. It's a good watch. So, and Kong Skull Island goes to DVD this coming Tuesday, just in case anybody wanted to know, so they could go purchase that movie.
The movie my wife walked out on?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah.
That's my last one on the list.
Okay, I'm going to rattle these off. I have just a small handful left. The Stranger, also on Netflix. Neither there. It just didn't do much for me. The Good Doctor, which was an Orlando Bloom movie where he makes some unethical choices on that.
When did that one come out?
Yep.
Okay. See, that's a name you don't hear it very often.
Yeah,
it is a fantastic play, though. Oh. It's fun.
Yeah, it's not the same story, but
it's not at all.
Yeah. No, the Good Doctor. Not Safe for Work, which Josh and I have talked about before. It's a Blumhouse movie.
Yes.
And it's like a single setting. It all takes place in one floor of an office building.
Yes.
A guy comes in representing a mob thing and basically hunts these people down during the entire movie.
What was that on, Patrick?
What was what on?
Not Safe for Work.
Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that one, actually. People I didn't know, which is always like in movies, seeing new people. The Pact, I think that one came out in 2000. I can't remember now. A woman goes back and her house is supposedly haunted. And she finds like a relative. I'm going to give it away because I don't know if anybody's going to see it. Finds a relative living in the basement under the floorboards, basically.
Okay.
And then today, my wife and I went and saw War of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
And this is a movie. I really enjoyed this one. I don't know if it's as good as the first one, because the first one just it introduced like this whole new motion capture type thing, which I just thought was amazing. This one goes 10 steps beyond that with the motion capture. It is absolutely amazing. It is a beautiful movie, and I don't want to give anything away because Josh so desperately wants to see this movie.
So I have not seen any of the movies in that series.
Mm-hmm.
Am I like missing out?
Yes, you are.
You are.
It's so good.
Noted.
I gave the movies to my dad this last couple of days ago, and I was like, watch these because I want to take him to War of the Planet of the Apes, and he's like, well. He remembers the original Planet of the Apes. He's like, well, are these people? Or are these is it all like in computers? Because my dad's old. He's like 100. And I was like, no, it's all CGI. So I want to see his thought on seeing the original Planet of the Apes when it came out and then seeing how they do the motion capture and everything. The other thing is, really quick before we move on to XX, I promise I'll make it quick, is how they were talking about the other day. I was reading an article about why people who do motion capture acting cannot be nominated for an Oscar, because Andy Serkis
is
on a lot of great
all-star.
Yeah.
He cannot be nominated
Caesar
for Caesar
in this was
Gollum.
Absolutely amazing.
It's crazy
what he did with
he
Caesar in this is absolutely amazing. And what they fail to realize is that they're using the emotions, they're using the facial, everything that they do with their face, and they use that. They're just covering it with. They're just covering it with a picture, and they're using the performance. And Andy Serkis is absolutely amazing, and I agree with you. He should be nominated.
Yeah. And people say that you don't have to act because you're not being seen, but all of you is being scene,
Yeah.
your emotions.
They're using his voice. They're using
yeah.
his eyes. They're using his emotions.
Yeah.
They're using all of it.
So,
and there's no reason he
that
should
should-
not be.
It's the
nominated.
Academy being a
Yeah.
bunch of fucking douche
Yeah,
nozzles.
it's not
it's-
real acting.
Yeah, it's something that
Yeah,
should.
it's more acting than fucking.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah.
something that should be considered.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So and something, and you're familiar with the original with
Andy McDowell and
Roddy McDowell.
and
Yeah.
Andy
not
McDowell.
as,
Andy
that's his
McDowell.
daughter.
Andy McDowell. That's okay. Earlier today, I said I made reference to it, and I said Roddy Dangerfield.
Roddy Piper. That would have been a good,
going,
a different
What the
movie.
hell?
Roddy McDowell and Charlton
Heston.
Charlton Heston. Yeah.
Charlton Heston. So you're familiar with it. You've seen it and
Yes,
everything
I have
else.
seen. Yeah,
You will appreciate this movie for a few subtleties all the way
does
through.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I'm not giving anything away by
That's
saying
fine.
that.
I'm so excited to see that movie.
It was really good, and I was able to enjoy it despite the fact that my recliner did not work.
No, was it plugged in?
I don't know, because both of ours, we had a unit.
Yep.
Yeah, we had
You brought your
She
unit
had
to
a
the
unit.
movie.
yeah. Both of them did not work, so it was either a fuse or wasn't plugged in or whatever. So,
I've had that happen and it wasn't plugged in.
yeah, nice.
Yeah. War for the Planet of the Apes
War
and
for the Planet of the Apes.
Wish Upon are both on my list to go see
Okay.
in this next week.
All right, so that's all of mine. I went through them pretty quickly,
Yeah.
but 30 minutes into this, so let's talk about.
blow XX out really
I,
quick.
well, I don't think it would take very long.
No, it usually doesn't.
Right.
XX is the movie that we watched for the podcast this weekend. Patrick, I'm trying to kill some time so he can bring it up.
Oh, sure.
And read off the synopses. The cool thing about this movie, while he's looking for that, is all female directors, which is a new thing for
Oh, really?
anthology film. It's I don't think that's been done before. So Patrick is fucking killing
Sorry,
me. I
just
feel
no,
like he's
go
over there
ahead.
laughing at me like, let's see this buffoon. Like, let's see how long he can go.
It's like, boy, my internet is slow.
Josh, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Good?
Well, I'm not doing good because I'm trying to.
Well, I'm trying to help you fill time here by asking
appreciate
how
it.
you're doing.
Good.
Good.
Um,
What's new? Anything fun?
uh,
Working on any writings?
there could be a
or-
lot of new things coming up here
Mhm.
soon, which we had some chatting about before we got on the cast.
Yes, that is true.
Really, some cool things. In the
No, just go talk about the movie.
Okay.
I'll get the synopsis here.
that's cool.
I don't even think you really need an
it's-
entire
it's-
official synopsis.
Yeah, it's fine. It's four films. It's an anthology. It's 4 films with no wraparound device
None.
at all. So, Greg, do you want to start?
There was kind of a wraparound. I don't know
No,
that I
there
would. It's
wasn't.
not like a story
It did
wraparound.
not tie shit together. Sorry.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, wraparound. But I mean, there was like little pieces
were-
of like a house with a doll face and an eye that it would cut
made
to.
no goddamn sense. But I'm glad we can argue about this.
I'd be happy to start.
Yeah, go, Greg.
The movie XX is missing an X.
Yeah.
As in, don't fucking watch it.
Okay.
Oh, I
okay.
thought you just wanted to see triple X porn.
Yeah.
No,
I
this
was
is
like,
not.
You want
no,
it to be a
this
porn?
is the farthest from porn. No. I started with high hopes because I like anthology series.
Yeah.
I'm trying to before we get going. What's the name of the 4th title?
It's called Her Only Living Son.
That's right. Her only living son. Okay. I loved where the first one, it's called The Box, was going. I loved the build up. It had a very slow build. It was a slow burn. But to quote a very wise man,
Me?
no,
Okay.
it was a slow burn that never catches fire.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm the wise man.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Hey, real quick though, XX is a new all-female helmed horror anthology featuring 4 dark tales written and directed by fiercely talented women. Annie Clark from St. Vincent rocks her directorial debut with The Birthday Party. Karen Kasuma exercises Her Only Living Son. Roxanne Benjamin from VHS trilogy. Southbound screams the movie Don't Fall, and Jovanka Vukovic.
Easy for you to say.
It's a fun try.
Vukovic, maybe, dares to open the box. Award-winning animator Sofia Carrillo wraps together stories of terror, blood, and mayhem featuring a cast including Natalie Brown, Melanie Linsky, Brita Wool, Angela Timber, Sheila Vand, and Christina Kirk.
Mouthful.
Yes, I guess the wraparound was just that clumsy animation stuff, but that's not a wraparound.
No. Okay, keep going,
Like
Greg.
almost a stop motion
Right.
animation of the house with the eye and the doll face.
Yeah, that's
weird-
to me that's not a
It's-
wraparound.
It's nothing.
It's like a way to introduce each movie, and that was about
which
it.
was weird. So anyway, the box had high hopes for it. It didn't go anywhere. A lot of me wanted to know what was in the box.
Yeah.
And I understand that that's not part of the story that she was trying to tell, but it's a pretty big piece to it.
But what story was she trying to tell if she's not telling you
The falling apart of this family because of what the kid looked at in the box, and the fact that he ended the hunger or the want to eat for 3/4 of his family just by telling them what was in this box.
So curiosity killed the kid?
Possibly?
No,
I don't know, but
I have no idea.
but the end of it was just like that. That's how you want
There's
to end it.
no ending to that
No.
movie. It's
No.
it's unfinished.
It's ridiculous.
It's not done.
And the dream dinner reminded me of our 30-second
Blind
film.
Okay, was that a dream? I was gonna say I almost texted you guys last night. I was gonna say watch the box. Midnight Frights did it better.
Yeah, no, that was a dream.
In 30 seconds.
And 30, yeah.
Yep, that was our 30
agree.
second entrance.
I agree.
So that was a dream. Okay, I got it. I was
Yeah,
trying
because
to
she
think-
woke up and she
That's-
was
okay.
still intact.
Yeah.
So it had good potential. I loved how slow it burned. I just think it burned a little too slowly.
I agree with Josh. There was no ending to it.
And that
was-
it's exactly what there was.
There was
nothing
no
to
ending.
conclude it.
There was no payoff.
No, it's like lighting a firecracker, watching the fuse go, and then realizing it was a dud. So the box was a dud.
Wonderfully shot, though. I thought it
Beautiful.
It looked great.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah, looked really
Absolutely,
great.
absolutely beautifully shot. So the box left a really bad taste in my mouth.
Maybe it was a box of rocks. Yeah.
I like yours better, but I think I had a pretty good one too.
Oh, damn nice.
The box left a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I get it.
gosh. Wow.
Crickets.
No, not crickets. I get it.
The birthday party had potential. I really don't even know how to describe it. Like, it did not keep my attention. I was back and forth between my phone and jotting small notes down about a wife putting a panda suit on her dead husband.
Yeah.
And trying to make sure that whoever the other lady in the house
She was like
did not find out that
like
the husband had died, or
Was that lady the mom from the first one? Because she
don't-
looked the exact
No,
same.
it wasn't. I don't think it was anyway.
Not same
I don't think it
character,
was
but
either.
like same actress.
Actress, yeah.
well, that could have been similar. I don't know. Like I said, I watched the first 5 minutes and kind of gave up after that point.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much of a payoff, and when there was a potential payoff, the movie ended.
Yeah. It's like the
nothing.
head came off the husband, and then all right,
Yeah,
the
it was
end.
done.
That was it. And then
Well, and then it
Where's
had
the
like
end?
the
those
birthday party,
and then it
or
had,
when
like, the-
Angela, whatever her name is,
right. It had the
was-
humorous captions afterwards, and that was about it.
That's like, yeah, it's like, okay, well, you had potential, and then you just kicked the chair out from under me. Thanks for that. The best one of this entire anthology was Don't Fall Down.
Or don't fall.
Don't fall.
Don't Fall. Sorry, not Don't Fall Down. The beginning was slow to start, but once she fell into there and met whatever that creature thingy was, if it was an alien or whatever it happened to be, it picked up and it went for it. And I thought it did a phenomenal job. The thing that they created her into was creepy as shit.
Yeah.
It was the goriest.
It was the goriest, that is for sure. I thought the best part was after she broke into the RV and they try to break out, and she accidentally shuts the door and locks him, and then
Accidentally locks him in.
he's standing there trying to get out, and she's just standing. Best part of the entire film.
Yeah.
Best part. So that was probably the best one out of all of them.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch her own living son, only
You
living
skipped
son. I'd lost it by that point. Like, I was happy with Don't Fall, but it started off and it was just like, I don't know where this is going based on the other three or the other two.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to give it a care. I don't.
Okay.
So,
Patrick?
A little bit of trivia in the birthday party. At one point, I thought she was going to go pet a cat, and she reaches over and just turns the cat. That it's actually
that was weird.
It's a stuffed animal, and according to this trivia thing on here, that's Danny Elfman's stuffed cat that makes an appearance in there. For people who don't know,
That's
do you guys
bizarre.
know who Danny Elfman is?
Yeah,
All right, yeah. So it's
Oingo Boingo.
Oingo Boingo.
Boingo. Or the soundtrack guy to the Tim Burton version of Planet of the Apes.
Or
Edward Scissorhands. I think he
Edward
did.
Scissorhands, and what
Batman.
was the one
Did he
with
do Batman too?
the Nightmare Before Christmas?
Basically anything from Tim Burton.
Right. Yeah. And going back to the birthday party, Melanie Linsky, I think I really like her as an actress. She does a lot of indie movies, and I just really like what she does. So I was disappointed with this movie. So I don't know if she was a friend of the director, writer, or what the deal was, how she got the gig. I just don't feel it did anything for her career or anything like that. I just didn't understand it, why she was trying to hide the fact that her husband was dead.
Yeah, it's like, what's the purpose, you know?
Yeah.
You like, and who was the lady that she was trying to hide it from?
Well, it was like a caretaker, a secretary, something
like
like a nanny.
Yeah. That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, the husband died. This is not anything out of the ordinary unless
Right.
what's the point?
And I didn't know if she was trying to hide it from her or trying to hide it from the daughter.
Yeah.
The daughter makes sense. I understand. And that's
Trying
when
not
she
to
first
ruin her
found
birthday.
him.
But when she saw the caretaker coming in and tries to hide the body in the closet and everything else, it's like, no, figure this out.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Make a phone call.
Make a phone call. Yeah. But yeah, I really like her as an actress, and just disappointed by the short itself. And then I think I agree with you, Greg, that the Don't Fall is probably the best of the four. And I just could not get into her only living son.
No.
I could not get into it whatsoever. And then just the way that it ended was...
I didn't get the ending of that one either. They hugged it out and then they fell over and died.
Well, they hugged it out to the point where they squeezed the blood out of each other, basically.
Yeah, it's like she was holding on to him so he couldn't be taken from her.
Right.
That's it.
So, I mean, overall, as an anthology, I think it failed in the sense of I did not feel there was a wraparound, even though this synopsis said there was one. So nothing really tied the four movies together. And I just didn't feel they were as strong as they could be.
No.
So that's where I stand on that. And I guess as time goes on, maybe I'm finding I'm not as big of a fan of anthologies as other people are.
Yeah.
It's nice for people to be able to put together shorts like that and try to get them into something that can be released. But, we always find that there's like, if there's four, we usually find like one that we like.
Yeah.
And the other three, we don't.
Turds.
Yeah. So.
Turds in the punch bowl.
So yeah. So I don't know if I'm just becoming tainted on that or what. So, and yes, I said taint.
Taint.
Did it leave a bad taste in your mouth?
Just like the box.
Ooh. This shit got gross.
So this was a movie that was an hour and 20 minutes long, and that it could have really used that extra 10 minutes to tie this shit together.
Right.
Because this movie was an hour and 20 minutes of unfinished product. They need to go back in there and finish this fucking movie. There's not an ending to one of these movies except for Don't Fall kind of had an ending. At least they had like this is what's going to happen. This is what happened to every character.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happened. This is how there's a finale to that movie or to that short. It's the only one that has an ending. With that said, I actually went and said and ranked them at a first what I thought was the best and what I thought was the worst, and I actually put The Box at number 1 because The Box left me wondering, and it kept me thinking about it after it was done.
Okay.
And that's why I put that at number 1. Going back and thinking about it now, you're probably right. Don't Fall was probably the best one because it was the goriest and it had an ending to it.
Especially if you're going to label yourself as a horror anthology.
Yeah.
That a couple of them I didn't think were necessarily
I
horror.
mean, there's gore in the...
There was horror ass.
horror ass.
Ooh, horror ass.
Triple X. Wow.
Good words.
Horror aspects to the box.
No, let's go back with the horror ass. I like that better.
This is not Triple X. Vin Diesel did not make an appearance. No, there were horror aspects in the box. There were horrific aspects to the birthday party. But no, I don't know that I would classify them. Like, the birthday party was almost more comedic than it was horrific.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just felt like it was the movie didn't get finished. And they worked on this movie for like a few years trying to get it all put together.
Yeah.
And so it was like, if I worked on a movie for that long, I'd make sure it got finished. That's just me though. And yeah, the movie ended and I was just
You thought there's an hour and a half I'm not getting back.
Not even that. It was just like, where's the last 10 minutes so you can finish the movie? That's all I want is 10 more minutes. Really. The non-existent wraparound device is what they need to go back in and figure out how to tie this shit together. Not that, and if you want to go back and look at it and you want to look at the segments in between the movies, that could essentially, it's its own movie. There's a beginning, the end where the little doll goes into the girl's heart and the door shuts or whatever.
Right.
That could have been, there's a beginning and there's an end to that.
Yeah.
If you look at it, it's a fifth movie.
Remind me, the movie Trick or Treat. Was there a wraparound to that?
Can't. Yes, there's a wraparound to that. There's something that ties all that together.
A little bit of me was anticipating something very similar to that. That's why I call it a wraparound just because it was something that they played to get you from one movie to the next.
Yeah.
But no, there wasn't any story about it, so I was just curious.
So, XX.
So, Greg, if you were to rank the four of them in order, what would you?
Number one was definitely Don't Fall. Number two, based on interest alone, was The Box. 3, The Birthday Party. And 4, I'm going to leave blank because I didn't even watch Her Only Living Son, or it was that bad.
Yeah, and my ranking matches yours exactly. Don't Fall, The Box, Birthday, and Living Son.
Mine was The Box, Don't Fall, Her Only Living Son, and then Birthday Party was my final one. So...
one of the things that pissed me off most about The Box was you bring in this character right at the beginning, the guy with the hat and the weird eyes.
And you never see him again.
You never see him again. If you're going to play somebody that prominently, if he's going to hold something that's going to cause this kid to ultimately, I don't want to say off his family, but for lack of a better term, or be the cause of the reason his family dies within months of each other, that's significant. Why would you not bring that character back?
Yeah.
I don't really even need to see what's in the box. I'm okay with not being able to see what's in the box. That's perfectly fine by me.
You know, what would have been interesting if they would have used that character to tie in all the movies together.
That would have been cool. I would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
But bring back somebody that's significant because you've made them significant for a reason. Don't just be like, oh yeah, you got this little bit part here. Who to the box? Look in there. Oh, now you're all dead.
Yeah. Even when she was looking for him, they spent like 3-4 minutes of her looking for him.
Yeah.
There's got to be some payoff.
This is what didn't make any sense to me either. And maybe you can explain this to me also, is she spends all the time at the end looking for him, and then the very last line of dialogue in that movie is, I'm hungry. But nobody ever shares the info with her as to what was in the box.
Right.
So why is she hungry? Why does that starvation thing...
Because the other people don't have hunger. So she hasn't been affected by it. So for her to say, I'm hungry, is her saying she still hasn't been affected.
She wouldn't have stopped eating because she didn't know what was in the box. She wasn't given the secret.
No, but she's stopping eating because she's trying to find out what the secret was. So I see what you're saying.
But she's spending all of her time
looking for this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, is this guy carrying like the only thing that can satisfy the hunger? and that's why the kid's not hungry, and he's content with letting himself go because that's what he told his what was it, the doctor or his dad?
Yeah.
Because like you're gonna die. Okay, fine.
Yeah, that was the doctor.
Yeah.
Here's a positive thing I will say about XX because we haven't done that yet. I feel like it's a movie that if you went back and you watched a second time, there's little subtle things in there that you may have missed that you could find.
Yes, that's my cat.
That you could find a way to understand or find an ending to all of these shorts.
See, I would go back and rewatch the box, and look for something like that. I'm not going to give The Birthday Party another look. I think it gave us what it wanted.
Well, and that's exactly right. I mean, you're saying this is a movie where if you go back, you're probably going to find some subtle things, but it's not the type of movie that makes you want to go back and look for subtle things.
100% true.
It's a blue ball movie.
Scale from 1 to 10,
My
Greg.
God.
It left you with blue balls. All
It
right?
left me with blue balls and the bad taste.
That's why you've got the blue microphone so close to your mouth.
Scale from 1 to 10, Greg. Or
2.
2?
Yeah, I'd give it about a 3.
All right. I didn't hate it that much. I was going to say 6.
Oh,
But
okay.
shit.
I think they did everything they could with the other film. I think Don't Fall held that thing together.
Yeah.
But
And Don't Fall, actually, the image from the end of that movie is actually the image you see before you start the movie. So they're selling that movie on that.
on Don't Fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think they recognize that then.
So, yeah.
I think that's pretty much it on that.
okay.
Let's go around right quickly, and do our little plugs. Or plugs? We got plugs.
If you're looking for some high quality movie reviews, jump over to gregthemovieguy.blogspot.com. I have a plethora, that's right, a plethora of movie reviews, some old, some new, some you just can't miss. Jump over, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, let me know what I could do better, let me know what you want to see, because I like doing call outs and shout outs and whatever the word is that I can't happen to think of off the top of my head. Requests. We'll call it TRL.
TRL?
Total Request Live, except it's not
There you
live.
go.
So Total Request for movie reviews. I'm going to quit now. Go to gregthemovieguy.blogspot.com, read some good movie reviews, and I hope to see you there later.
Including his newest review for when he watches The Void.
Yeah, that'll probably happen.
Yeah. Patrick.
I'm just going to pimp out Prairie Lights Film Festival.
Yes, please.
Friday, October 20th through Sunday, October 22nd at the Grand Theater in Grand Island, Nebraska.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
Grand
and Grand
no,
Island?
I really don't.
That just
think
makes
so.
sense.
Yeah.
We do have a film playing there. So,
We do?
It's super cheap. It's $10 for the whole weekend. If you buy your tickets in advance, you get a nice little sampler DVD with a bunch of shorts on there. You get your popcorn vouchers and drink vouchers. You get discounts at all the local...
I should do that this year. I haven't done that in the past.
Yeah.
I need to do that.
Buy in advance. You get some cool shit. And so you get vouchers for drinks and you get discounts at their sponsors. And it's a really good time. Ton of really great Nebraska films. Played all 3 days. And you get to talk to cool filmmakers and shit. So it's fun. MidnightFrightFilms.com. Go check us out. Midnight FrightCast on the Facebook. Midnight Fright's on Facebook. We are on Instagram, although we haven't posted there for a while. And we have the YouTube channel, Midnight Fright Films.
Yes.
With a bunch of cool shit on there. So go check it out. And that was on the podcast, too. I think that's how we should
We'll
end
see.
it.
We'll see if that picked up. Yep. Nice.
So, with that, I'm gonna call this we bombed on the cast.
Actually, we did pretty well for not.
Yeah,
I mean, we didn't stumble
No.
around like you and I did horribly.
that was awful.
Yeah.
For Midnight Fright Films, I'm Josh and Greg
What's up?
and Patrick,
Hey.
Hi.
and we're out.
We're crashing. Goodbye.